Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so we've got this stack of news sources hitting the desk. Really interesting stuff. And today we're going deep on three specific cutting-edge Chinese AI agents that, well, these sources are basically saying they're absolutely destroying everything else on the planet. So our mission really is to unpack what's making these models tick.
We're talking Miniax M1, Seance 1.0, and Kimadev 72B. How are they actually outperforming what's already out there? And, why are they fundamentally changing the game for digital creation? Often like way cheaper or even free. Yeah, and it's so important to get.
These aren't just like small steps forward. What we seem to be looking at here are frankly complete game changers. They could genuinely disrupt whole industries. And the contrast is pretty stark. Right?
You see a lot of American AI companies, charging these massive subscription fees, limiting access, and then these counterparts pop up offering what look like superior capabilities sometimes. Yeah, completely free. That's a huge claim. Makes you wonder what the play is there. But okay, let's dig into the first one.
Miniax M1. So this comes from a Shanghai startup, right? Backed by some big names. Alibaba, Tencent. Its main thing seems to be building websites, even apps, just from text prompts.
How does that even work? I mean, just to give you a feel for it, one source mentioned someone typing, create a Netflix clone with playable trailers, and bam, 60 seconds later, they had a working site. Not just, a picture of a real functioning website. Grabbing images, sorting layouts, even embedding AI-made video players. That kind of speed is just, wow, it really is something else.
And the how comes down to its architecture. They call it the world's first open-weight, large-scale hybrid attention reasoning model, M. Okay, that's a lot of jargon, I know, but hybrid attention basically means it's really smart about focusing on the right information in massive datasets. Super efficient and open-weight.
That means the core model, the weights are public. That's big for transparency, for letting others build on it. Capacity-wise, it's wild. It handles 1 million tokens of input.
Now, tokens are like words or bits of words for the AI. 1 million tokens. Think about feeding in an entire book series. Just dwarfs things like DeepSeek R1, which is 128,000 tokens. And maybe even more crucially, it can spit out up to 80,000 tokens in one go.
It could write a novella for you, right? So it takes in huge amounts, puts out huge amounts, but how does it not just, melt the servers? What about the compute power?
That's the clever bit. It uses this hybrid mixture of experts architecture with a lightning detention mechanism. So, mixture of experts. Imagine the AI has lots of little specialized brains. Okay.
It only activates the exact ones needed for the task at hand, and the lightning attention part makes that switching, that activation incredibly fast and efficient. Get this for really deep thinking. Using 80,000 tokens, it apparently needs only about 30% of the compute power DeepSeek R1 would need for 100,000 tokens. Or put another way, maybe just put 25% of the resources some other models need.
It's like having a sports car, they said, that goes twice as fast but uses half the fuel. Pretty neat analogy. And technically, it does this by only lighting up about 45.9 billion of its total. 456 billion parameters for each token it processes. Parameters are like the AI's learned connections, its knowledge.
So it's being really, really selective. That's incredible, especially you'd think, given the cost to build these things.
Exactly. The training cost is mind-blowing.
They used a method called CISPO. The whole reinforcement learning part costs less than $600,000 using 5 Joule NVIDIA H800 GPUs for 3 weeks. Compare that. DeepSeek R1, maybe $5-6 million. OpenAI's GPT-4 rumored to be over 100 million.
This completely changes the economics, and it's not just raw power, it also has this browser use capability.
Yeah, the AI can literally go online, browse websites in real time, and use that current info to make better stuff, like, say, building a custom landing page for your YouTube channel by looking at your latest videos. and maybe your LinkedIn profile. Plus, it's got built-in tools for web search, making images, videos, even speech synthesis and voice cloning. It's like a whole toolkit in one.
Okay, so stepping back, what does this mean for you? Listening. The big thing seems to be just how fast you can go from idea to, well, something real. You don't need months. You don't need a whole team. One person could test out a pretty complex website idea in like minutes.
That's huge. And the access, it's open source, Apache license, so you can use it commercially, change it, whatever. You get 1,000 free credits to start, apparently. And the API costs are super low, like 0.55 per million input tokens, $2.20 per million output tokens for the big model. It's really putting advanced web dev in anyone's hands, and people are doing some wild things with it already.
The sources mentioned an interactive Tom Riddle diary from Harry Potter, a real-time dashboard tracking the Israel-Iran conflict of full Pokédex, even practical stuff like researching office locations based on costs and transport links. So yeah, it's definitely not just a toy. Okay, so Miniax M1 is shaking up how we build online. But then there's Seance 1.0 from ByteDance.
This one seems focused on the content itself, specifically video, like Hollywood quality video. What jumped out at me immediately was the speed they're claiming, generating 5-second full 1080p videos in 41 seconds on one graphics card. That just sounds radically faster than anything else out there right now, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Other tools, you're looking at 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe hours for that quality and length. And this speed, this quality, it comes from a few key breakthroughs in how it's built. First, they talk about a multi-dimensional reward system. So most AIs learn different things separately, like image quality here, following instructions there, making motion look natural.
Over here, Sales 1.0 apparently learns all of that at the same time simultaneously, which means, crucially, it doesn't have to trade off. It doesn't sacrifice visual polish to follow your prompt or vice versa. You get both. Second, there's this reimagined video data processing.
They built it to understand video as video, not just no sequence of still pictures. It gets motion. It understands how things move through space and time within a video clip. And that's key to getting rid of that weird, AI jitter you sometimes see. The motion feels much more natural, more fluid, like real footage.
Third, a really smart prompt engineering system. Think of it as a great translator. You give it a simple request and it translates that into the super detailed instructions the AI actually needs. This makes it much better at actually doing what you asked for instead of giving you something that's just, sort of close. And lastly, multi-shot video capabilities.
This is a big one. Most AI video tools just make one continuous scene, right? Seance 1.0 can apparently create videos with multiple shots, different camera angles, cuts, transitions. Basically, it can stream together a narrative. Think mini-movies, multi-scene ads, not just isolated clips.
And the results speak for themselves. Apparently, it's ranked #1 on the main video generation leaderboards, beating Google's V3 Runway, even Sora. That's what the sources claim. Yeah. And beyond just the quality, think about the impact.
It really commoditizes video production. It just flattens those old barriers. You don't necessarily need cameras, fancy editing software, or whole production crew anymore. If you can type out your idea, you can potentially create really professional-looking product demos, explainers, social content, even commercials. It's a huge leveler.
Okay, so we've got web creation, video production. Now let's shift to Moonshot AI's Kimi Dev 7.2. Beat this one tackled software development itself, debugging, coding, and the really wild part here, it's apparently completely free while beating a lot of the paid tools. I mean, get this. Its pub-fixing performance is unreal. It hit the highest score any free model ever got on Swebenj verified 0.4%, which they say is like the Olympics of coding tests, notoriously hard.
Just for context, the previous best open source model, around 40%. Paid ones like Claude, Maybe 50% GPT-4, maybe pushing 55%. And then there's this anecdote in sources. It fixed some complex bug in an e-commerce checkout or a race condition, which are notoriously tricky. Fixed it in under 2 minutes.
Meanwhile, human developers struggled with the same bug for 4 hours and still hadn't cracked it. Wow, some developers hearing that might need a moment, right? That kind of speed up is just transformative, and its power seems to come from this unique two-brain system. It's got two integrated AI parts working together.
One brain is the bug fixer. It finds the bug, figures out the solution. The other brain is a test writer. It actually writes code to test the fix, make sure it worked, and ensure it didn't break anything else. That collaborative validation is super important, and something a lot of other coding AIs just don't do.
It checks its own work, basically. And its process for fixing bugs mimics how good human developers work in 2 stages. First, file localization. It doesn't just guess, it analyzes the bug. Report the whole code base, how things connect, and it pinpoints the exact files that need changing. It's surgical, not just flashing changes around.
Second, code editing. Once it knows where to fix, it writes the code and it thinks about edge cases, side effects. The result is supposed to be production-ready code, clean, simple, readable, not just, some messy hack. That kind of works often better than what a rush human might write. The training behind it is also pretty intense.
Trained on 150 billion tokens of real code, GitHub issues, pull requests, developer chats. So it learned to think like a dev. And crucially, the reinforcement learning happened inside Docker containers using actual broken code bases. So it wasn't just trained on random internet code, which might be buggy itself. It learned in real-world messy situations with real bugs.
And it only got rewarded if it completely fixed the bug. That means its suggestions are likely battle-tested, much more reliable. And the accessibility part is just, unprecedented for this level of power. It's completely free, no limits, no subscriptions mentioned anywhere. Plus, it runs locally on your machine.
Your code stays private, doesn't go off to some cloud. That's huge for IP, and apparently setting it up is easier than installing a video game. Just download and run it really is remarkable access and a business impact, huge potential for companies.
Imagine cutting development costs maybe significantly for certain tasks, having debugging time maybe for learners. It's like having the best teacher imaginable, giving instant expert feedback. And for any developer, really, it's like a super-powered assistant, a secret weapon for building faster, better software. The insight here isn't just fix bugs faster. It's about changing the whole developer workflow, freeing up devs from the grind to focus on bigger problems, on innovation. That's a massive productivity boost.
So if you kind of zoom out and look at all 3 Miniax, Seance, Kimi, these Chinese AI agents seem to be fundamentally changing the equation for efficiency and accessibility in making digital stuff. They're just slashing the time, the cost, and frankly, the specialized skills you used to need for these complex tasks.
Yeah, the core message cutting across these sources is pretty clear. You're getting capabilities that would cost thousands, taken weeks or months, and now you can get them for free or pennies on the dollar almost instantly. It's a total shift.
Exactly. It democratizes things. Massively advanced MWebDev, pro-level video, sophisticated coding help. It puts these tools in the hands of individuals, small businesses, allowing them to operate with speed, quality, and efficiency that was unthinkable before, regardless of their budget. Which raises, a pretty important strategic point. The sources touch they suggest that the businesses, the entrepreneurs who figure out how to use these tools first, how to integrate them smartly, they're the ones potentially poised to really dominate their markets.
It's not just having the tool, it's building it effectively. So we've covered some frankly mind-bending capabilities today. building a Netflix clone in a minute with Miniax MM1, generating stunning multi-shot video with Seance 1.0, fixing gnarly code bugs with Kimadev 72B like it's nothing.
And all of this, according to these sources, either free or dramatically cheaper than we're used to. The pace of change in AI and digital creation right now is just staggering. And these agents, yeah, they really seem to be pushing the envelope. It's definitely a space to watch closely. So maybe the thought to leave you with is this.
As these incredibly powerful, accessible AI agents keep getting better, what industries, what job roles might be transformed next? And maybe more importantly, how can you start thinking about leveraging these kinds of capabilities right now to get ahead or just stay relevant in this rapidly shifting digital world?